Welcome to Architects of Transformation, a series where we uncover the systems and leadership decisions driving the next iteration of digital transformation in the UAE. I'm Jennifer George, correspondent at MIT Sloan Management Review Middle East, and this episode is brought to you by DoTech. In a region defined by ambition, organizations are reimagining the way they work, grow, and serve. Their journeys often begin with a question: how can technology move us forward? Organizations are beginning to rethink how they build, connect, and secure their digital foundations. But this shift isn't defined by technology alone. It is also influenced by the questions that leaders must confront. In this episode, we explore how the UAE is redefining digital trust using its national digital identity ecosystem. Joining me is Saeed Belhoul, Director of E-Government Services at TDRA, to better understand the strategic vision, partnerships, and the platforms that enable the evolution of UAE Pass, and to grasp how DoTech is securing the future of the next digital frontier. Saeed, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd like to begin this conversation from an ideation perspective. The UAE has prioritized digitization as a pillar of its digital government strategy for 2031. What do you think inspired TDRA to make this a national priority?
Well, it really starts with a vision from the leadership that people should be able to use or transact government services through their mobile with ease and comfort. And since 2013, the TDRA has set a strategy in order to execute this vision through building a national infrastructure. This national infrastructure comprised mainly of a federal network that connects all the federal government entities with a high-speed network to allow for data integration and exchange. It also included a cloud, government sovereign cloud, to be able to host all the government services on this infrastructure. And of course, there is the digital identity that will allow all citizens and residents to transact and authenticate themselves through this digital identity. The digital identity went through a number of stages. It evolved until it reached this stage where we have more than 7 million users registered. If we think about it, it's really served as a catalyst for increasing the adoption and the use of digital services. If you imagine that through one single digital identity, you can access more than 400 government services. So it was really essential to have it as part of this infrastructure.
I think it's very fascinating that you've mentioned the transition from a national identity to a digital national identity. And I'd just like to explore that a little bit deeper. The UAE Pass connects over 42 public and private entities through a unified identity system. How did TDRA coordinate such a large ecosystem and maintain stakeholder alignment throughout this process?
So, as I have mentioned, the TDRA has laid the ground through a federal network that connect all these government entities. So, sharing and exchanging the data became much easier through this reliable network. The digital identity itself went through evolution. It started with a system that relies on the secure element on the ID, national ID card. And at that time, it was called the Smart Pass, before the UAE Pass. Then it evolved to use the secure element on your mobile phone, which became more convenient and easier, considering that the mobile phone, you can use biometric, like the face recognition, When we compare it to the digital card, where you need a device card reader and you need a software and you need to use your fingerprint, which sometimes is not reliable, especially for people, senior people, where the finger identity cannot be read easy. So as you see, it went really through evolution till it reaches this stage where we have very much large number of users who are using and relying on these services. And really the people who, the entities who are onboarded now, not only the government entities, but also it extends to the private sector, including banks. Many banks are now using the UAE Pass, on the UAE Pass, as an authentication mechanism for their customers.
When we look at such a wide-scale national project as UAE Pass, surely it's not an individual effort, and it requires reliable partners that allow you to execute and build, but also to evolve the technology as times change and as national priorities change. I'd like to better understand the role of public and private partnerships, particularly the one with DoTech, and how that played an instrumental role in making this national scale transformation possible.
It's always, not only in the UAE, probably everywhere. The partnership with the private sector, the government with the private sector is very essential and is very important. The private sector is agile. It has lots of capital in terms of monetary and as well as capital minds that you can always leverage. And of course, we don't forget the vast network that the private sector with the other partners, whether in UAE and outside the UAE, where the public or the government can leverage on to execute such projects. So especially when you consider the TDRA, the Telecommunication and Digital Government Regulatory Authority, we have a close partnership with the telecom. And the telecom really plays a big part in digitization through the telecommunication industry, which is very important, as well as other areas which are probably not regulated by the TDRA, including the data center and the compute services and the digital services. So when we started the execution of building the digital national infrastructure, there was a strong emphasis on the partnership with the telecom, especially it was a long journey. The partnership with the telcos, as well as the other private sectors, the companies in the private sector, is very strong. And many of the digital government services we see now is as a result of this partnership.
Just to tap into that a little deeper, surely there were challenges when you were conceptualizing this plan for digital national identity. What were some of the expertise that partners like DoTech brought to the table that enabled you to look past these obstacles and really create something that stood the test of time?
A system like the UAE Pass digital identity require a very stable and robust infrastructure. And the telecom are one of the main investors in data centers and cloud infrastructure. And having these elements in place is very essential for providing a service that is continuously reliable and available all the time, and the citizen can trust using it 24/7 without any interruption.
I'd like to also bring our attention to cross-border services, which have now become a reality. How does TDRA envision the next phase of digital identity interoperability, perhaps even on a regional level within the GCC?
This subject might not be relevant 100% to the digital identity, but there is lots of emphasis on data exchange and data interoperability among the GCC countries. There is already work going in this direction, with emphasis on data exchange relating to healthcare, trade and customs, traffic. These are areas with currently there is lots of focus on it, and there is already projects which has been executed that enable the exchange of data among GCC countries. So you will find already projects has been executed in this regard, either with one GCC, one or more country among the GCC.
Just to bring this conversation to a close and to really cement the idea of what it looks like to have a digital national identity in today's world that is so hyper-digitized, and to allude also to the UAE's next iteration of digital transformation, how do you think companies like yourself are creating a balance between convenience and control while also ensuring that digital access is easy and responsibly managed?
I think this is a very important point. The balance between ease of use and user experience and the security controls is very vital. And very often it's missed, really. When you have some, let's say, less tight controls and the user get compromised, you tend to put the blame on the user. He did not protect his credentials. And when you have tight controls, you risk the user experience and probably the use of the service. So striking a balance is really important. The security has to be seamless and to very large extent reliable. Depending on the password alone, this is something from the past. Passwords get compromised. It's very easy to get compromised. And with the user, he's considering that he is the weakest link in the chain. You have to put the necessary controls that are like easy, and then at the same time does not compromise, allow for the compromise of his credentials. So using like multi-factor authentication or decentralized ID, they are very important and will definitely add to the user experience without compromising the security.
That's a perfect close to this conversation. Thank you so much, Saeed, for contributing to this conversation and also giving us your timely insights on what is shaping the next phase of a national digital identity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Architects of Transformation. As we continue to explore the stories behind the nation's most cutting-edge digital advancements, we invite you to stay with us.